How you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the replay and welcome to Daily Fuel. My name is Bobby and I am the host of this group, Spiritual. Yeah. I always need like a minute to get used to the light shining in my face. That's why I do all this stuff. But if you're watching in the replay, then let me know you're in the replay. Do hashtag no pain. Do that one. Hashtag no pain replay. Nah, I gotta think of these ahead of time. I can't do these. I'm very quick on my feet, but I can't think of hashtags off the top of my head. Anyway, if you're in the replay, just write a hashtag of some kind or a comment. I don't really care. If you're not in the replay and you're also not live, then you're not watching this, so don't do anything. But if you're live, do me a favor. You can start commenting now. You can comment the whole time that I'm talking. Here's how this works. I'm going to go through my spiel. I have a topic today, and I'm going to talk about that topic. I have 3 things I want to say about it. And, well, more than 3, but I number them that way. And once again, I've forgotten to clean off my glasses before I started this thing, so they're dirty. So I'm going to do it while I talk. And then when I'm done with my thing, I think I'm looking at the camera. When I'm done with my thing, when I'm done, I'm blind without my glasses. When I'm done with my thing, I'm going to come back. I'm going to read all the comments. And you know what I like? I like when I read comments that were written like 10 minutes ago, and then I say something and somebody comments something back, and then I keep talking but I didn't read the comment, and then by the time I read the comment, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So anyway, that's that. There are some people here. I see some hellos. Hello, Bobby and company, says Christina. Hello, Christina. And hey, everybody, says Jesse. Hey, Bobby, and hello to all, says Nathan. Yeah, that's how you do it. Hello, Sir Bobby et al. Very good, Mikey. There you go. And Jesse, this is not doing it. This is it. You gotta say hello to me and then everybody else. Those are the rules. Dem's the rules. And Ray wrote a lengthy salutation. Good afternoon to the illustrious Bobby Donahue and all the rest of you. Probably never see me do it this way again. Well, I appreciate it, Ray. It gave me a good laugh. All right, let's get started. Oh, well, hang on. I gotta say hello to Robin. Hello, Robin. Good afternoon, Bobby, and all. There you go. And the flowers. Thank you, Robin and Jesse. Hello, Bobby. Hello, everyone. There you go. That's the proper way. Thank you very much. All right, let's get started. No pain, no gain. See, notice I put a question mark there, right? Usually it's no pain, no gain. I put a... Is Nathan here? I didn't even see him. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Nathan. I did see you. No pain, no gain, right? No gain? That's the question. Yeah, so here's my thing about this, and I'm going to go through this. I've got some things to say about this. You've heard this expression. Now, I heard this expression the first time, or it's the first time I can remember hearing it. When I was a teenager, I started working out, and what do you call it? So the gym where I worked out, it was a man who lived in the neighborhood, and he had a gym with a garage. I know this sounds like a horrible thing, and he tell all the young boys, come work out in my garage. He actually trained us and taught us how to work out. He was a wonderful guy, and nowadays, if there was a man with a bunch of weights in his garage and he was telling all the young high school kids to come work out, they'd hang him and burn him. But back then, everyone was like, yeah, go to his house. It was the 80s. What are you going to do? Right? And yeah, go to that guy's house. And we did. And we worked out because he was an awesome guy. And so, but he had a thing hanging in his garage. It was a poster, and it said "No pain, no gain." And the idea behind that is that if you aren't exerting effort and energy, you're not going to get the effect back that you want. To a degree, that's true. I'm not saying that's false. What I'm saying is I think it's incomplete, and that's what I want to talk about today. So you've heard me talk about it, this thing, this wave of if you think of your life as you've got a, yesterday I was talking about a sine wave in terms of your emotional scale, but today I want to talk about a sine wave in terms of your belief system. We live in a range of belief system. Each one of us has designated a range that we will allow. As my arm, are my arms in the screen there? I'm not looking at the screen. I could be like down here. We have this range that we're allowed to live in according to ourselves. So if I get too high, I'm hitting the ceiling, my range of my belief system. I don't believe I can go higher than this, so I don't. And at the same time, I also don't believe I can go lower than the floor, the floor of my belief system. So I don't. And it's very interesting to me that that throughout my adult life, I've had this pretty consistent range, and what I'm trying to do is elevate that range, and is what I'm trying to suggest we all do. So we have beliefs that allow us to go up and down within this range, and according to our egos and ourselves, as long as I'm inside this range, I'm good. That's great. I'm good. I can handle this. I can live with this. I can go all the way to the bottom, and I know how to survive, and I can get pretty close to the top, and I know how to thrive a bit. But if I get higher than that, I'm way outside my comfort zone, and I won't allow myself to go lower than that because I don't want to. I just won't. I don't believe. I at least feel that I'm worthy enough to be above that floor. Now your range might be wider than mine. Your range might be higher or lower than mine. For example, the floor of your range might be above the ceiling of mine, or vice versa. So there's not a range that we all live in. We each create our own range and say, I will now be stuck in this box, and that's it. So we have these voices in our heads, right? And we know what these voices sound like because we hear them all the time. The first one is usually the one that kicks in when we're getting close to the top of that range. And that voice is saying to relax. Chill out. You're doing good. You got a good thing going on here. A good thing happened. You've been working really hard, and now you see that you're coming out of this a crap zone or something. Maybe you've been moving up the range in life, and you're getting close to the ceiling. Now, in your mind, it sounds like a little just soothing, saying, "Hey, you're doing great. Have a break. Take a break today. You've been working hard. You don't have to work this hard. You'll just keep coasting on up," is what you're saying. But inside, your belief system is like the alarms are going off. It's like, holy shit, they're going to pass the ceiling. We can't let that happen. We got to slow them down a little bit. And your chemicals start going, and you just start trying to relax a little bit. And this voice in your head is saying, come on, calm down a little bit. Calm down a little bit. You don't have to work so hard. Now, conversely, you may shoot right up to that ceiling. You may be like, I'm going to try this new thing, and I'm going to work really hard at it, and I'm going to go, and you can see yourself moving fast towards it. So what usually happens then is that voice sounds a little different. It's not telling you to relax. It's telling you, are you sure you want to do this? This looks fucking scary. We don't want to do this. That's called your terror barrier. I got that expression from Bob Proctor, if you've ever heard of him. He calls that the terror barrier. And I really like that because what happens is you're trying something new and you're trying to push past the top range of your belief system and elevate your life in some way. It could be in any dynamic of life. It could be getting more money, a better job. It could be a better relationship or a relationship at all. Or it could be having kids. It could be getting a house. It could be buying a house instead of renting, or renting instead of buying, or moving to this country, or anything at all. Whatever is this new thing that you've never done before, or that makes you feel like this is going to elevate my life in some way. We get excited about that. The human part of us, we're all like, this is going to be awesome. But as we're getting closer to achieving it, this part kicks in because it realizes we're going to go above that ceiling. Not allowed to do that. So the terror barrier kicks in if you're going to it too fast. And it's like, hey, if you pass this mark, there's no coming back. What if you fail? What if this happens? What if it doesn't work out the way you want? What if, and just fill in the blanks with all the terrible, terrible things that we wonder, well, if that happens, it would be worse than. Remember the other day we were talking about the fear of success. Sometimes it feels like it's better to just stay down here than to go all the way up just to fall again. falling seems worse than just hanging out down here in the first place. So that's what your terror barrier is. So that's voice one. It's either telling you to relax. You're coasting up there. You don't have to work so hard. Or if you're moving really fast up there, it's saying, slow the fuck down. This is scary. Come back down here where we're comfortable. And then that voice, that terror barrier one, can be really sinister, because a lot of times when you believe that voice that's telling you, this is going to be terrible if you fail. It's not going to work. It's not going to do what you want it to do, and then you're going to be ridiculed. All these terrible, terrible things are going to happen. So you run back to where you're comfortable, and then the terror goes away, and it feels good, and we mistake that for, I know I made the right decision because this just feels so much better. I just feel so much better. That was way too scary for me. You were pushing past your belief ceiling, and your voice wouldn't let you. So voice one is the one that doesn't let you go past that belief ceiling. Voice two is the one that doesn't let you go past the floor, because that's just as bad. It's your worthiness system tells you got to be locked in this box. Wherever that box is for you, it could be really narrow, it could be really wide, doesn't matter. You got to stay in it. Voice two is that one that if you start getting too low, that's the one that's like, you're a piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get your ass off the couch and hustle. You got to move it. And that's that whole, for me, I came up in entrepreneurship in the entrepreneur bro land. Like, I knew all these people and I saw all this stuff going on, and it was always the wake up really early, work really late into the night, sleep when you're dead, that kind of stuff. It was just like, there's no time for rest. There's no time for anything. You gotta move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. And now that's in entrepreneur land, but we've heard the same things in weight loss, right? Oh, you want to lose weight? Well, do 100 million miles on the treadmill before 6 o'clock in the morning and then go to work. It's like, I don't care that you got kids, or you got this, and you got that. It doesn't matter. If you're not getting your ass on that treadmill, then you're a lazy piece of shit. And we start to believe this kind of stuff. We start to believe this mentality. Society, by the way, loves voice number two, because voice number two is all the ways that we can use that voice on other people, because we can look at them and be like, piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit, and feel better. It's like, look at that lazy person, look at that lazy person. That's why nobody likes welfare and nobody likes all this kind of stuff. Because, we like to think that we're better than other people, and they should just do what I do because I hustle hard. You've heard the expression, work hard, play hard. People wear this like a badge of honor, like it's something amazing to do. And it can be. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying, though, that this voice by itself is incomplete. It's trying to get you off the floor and move you towards the ceiling, but it's not going to help you do the thing you really need to do. So here's what happens: is we listen to that voice. We listen to that voice that's telling us you gotta pick it up. You gotta hustle a little more. You gotta work harder. This is where no pain, no gain comes from. And one of two things are going to happen. As you start moving up, you're going to come closer to your belief ceiling. And that's when voice number one is going to kick in. Hey, calm down a little bit, Or if you're racing to that belief system, voice number one is going to be terror. One of two things is going to happen at this point. Either your desire to move past that belief ceiling is going to overcome your belief, meaning your desire is stronger than your belief. If your desire is stronger than your belief, you can move past that belief ceiling, either permanently or temporarily or whatever. That's why some people might all of a sudden win the lottery, but now they just blow all the money. Within a year they're broke again, or they lose all the weight, but within 6 months they're heavier than when they started. And that's why we yo-yo in life, because sometimes we're able to use that hustle mentality to push past that boundary. We can just white knuckle through it. We can just pump up the desire so hard that we just pummel right over the belief system. But the belief system will always kick back in, because that is our identity. It's who we are. So that's number one, is your desire could be stronger than, I've got a number 1 and 2 inside of my 1, 2, 3. We're still on number 2 of my first set of numbers. We're on number 1 of number 2. Okay, so that's what could happen if desire is stronger than belief. But more often than not, belief is stronger than desire. And we start moving up, and that's when voice number one kicks in either of those ways, either the terror or the relax, and we start to go back down. And we just live in this kind of a thing all the time. But if you are shooting up and you feel that terror and you go back down again, that feels like failure. That feels painful. That could be a loss. That could be like, oh, it was working, but then I stopped and I'm such a fucking idiot. Why did I stop? I used to say this all the time. I used to get really good things going with my business, and then I would just stop doing the thing that was working. And then later on, I'd be like, why did I stop doing that? It was working. I don't understand. Because I didn't understand that I was reaching my ceiling. I was reaching my terror barrier. If I kept on going, I was going to go right past that. I'm not allowed to go right past that. So, we have voice number three. Voice number three is your soul. It's your spirit. Voice number three is the one that's going to be like, look, I understand you doing this shit. It's fine. It's being a human. But you don't have to do it in this range. We can do this. We can take this range and we can move it up and up and up and up and up. We can make your ceiling your new floor. We can make the new ceiling the new floor. We can just move it all the way up. There's no limit to where we move this range. You can go up and down, and then up higher and then down, and then up higher and then down, and then up higher until all of a sudden you're going up and down on a whole new range. Except voice number one and voice number two don't tell us that. They're keeping us locked in this original range. And that's why I don't like hustle. That's why I don't like no pain, no gain. Because they're leaving out the belief system. If you don't believe you can get to a certain point, you will either get to it and crash, or you will shoot past it and then immediately turn around and come back. Because you can't do anything else than that. You can't just white knuckle your way past the belief system and then stay up there, because you have to change your belief system. If you get up there, you must change your belief system to stay up there, or else you will come right back to where you believe you're supposed to be. And that's how it works. So, let's see what you guys have to say. I hope that made sense. It made sense in my head. This was a convoluted one. I'm like, oh good, I'm on my third list of things. I'm numbering everything, because I number things. But there you go. So let's see who we got. I see some essays here. All right, so here's all the hellos. Robin says good morning, and Jesse said a proper hello. Thank you very much. This is the proper hello. Thank you. Look, and I like all the Y's and B's too. I like it's like you're saying my name. You're singing it is how I imagine it. I can, hello, Bobby. I can see that. And hello, everyone else. You know, that's how I kind of see it. Hang on. Let me take some water here. So, by the way, this today's Daily Fuel came from a comment that Nathan said yesterday. He said, I like to do something that sucks every day. And then thank you, by the way, he sent me a YouTube video that punctuated this. And I am totally cool with that. I think that the hustle mentality is great as long as you're raising your belief bar. If you're raising your belief bar that you can do it, and then, because what happens is when your soul is telling you to raise your belief bar and it's helping you, it's going to give you all the inspired action. It's not going to say, just relax and sit on the couch and eat anything you want and gain all the weight you want. You'll be fit as a fiddle. It's not going to tell you that. It's going to inspire you to the kind of exercise you want to do. Not get on the treadmill for 100 hours because that's what everybody else says to do. It's going to tell you the thing to do in your business that's going to work for you. Not to do all the things you see all these other idiots doing because they're doing it. It must work for them and it's not working for me. Something must be wrong with me. No, nothing's wrong with you. You're just doing a thing that's not meant for you. You got to find the thing that's meant for you. That's all. So if you're listening to voice number 3 first, it's going to help you raise that and elevate that belief system. And then your soul is going to say, hey, why don't you try this tactic? And you're going to be like, this rocks. I never even thought of this before. And you're going to crush it. And then everyone's going to look at you and be like, wow, that one really hustles. I'm going to hustle like that one. And then they try and do what you do and they crash and burn because they haven't elevated their belief system yet. That's why. And that, kids, is why the diet industry of the 90s made billions of dollars and made everyone in America fatter, because it made us hustle without elevating our belief system first. That's why. That's why. I believe that suffering is necessary in order to achieve a worthy goal. Like that saying, no pain, no gain. I feel it builds mental toughness. That's fine. If that's in your belief system, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to argue semantics with you because I don't believe that suffering is necessary for anything. I believe that you can meditate and do energy work to elevate your belief system, and then your soul will tell you, here are the tactics to use. And it might not tell you in a download. It might not be like, I should try that thing. It might just work that you find a book in the library or the bookstore. Does anybody read books? You might just come across an interesting blog article online that says, hey, try this thing. And you're like, I never tried that before. And now it doesn't have to be suffering to do the tactics. I think that the suffering part happens... Nathan, this is why I don't like the word suffering. And it's arguing semantics with you, okay? It's not that hustling is bad. It's not that working hard is bad. It's not like that if you want to get really big muscles, you got to lift the weights. I get that part. It's that the suffering to me is that you are trying to push past your belief system. And it's just not necessary, and it's completely impossible to do. You cannot push past your belief system. It's too strong. You could push past it momentarily, but it will always suck you back down. That's what suffering is to me, because what happens is you fail, and that's what the suffering is. It's the failure part. It's the thinking that you suck. It's the going through life thinking there's something wrong with me because I can't do this and everyone around me can. How come they can and I can't? That's what suffering is to me. It's not I'm working hard at this, and I'm moving, because that could be fun. That could be like, it's painful. Maybe it's physically painful in your muscles if it's physical. Maybe it's mentally painful because you got to think of new things and solve puzzles and stuff. The suffering, though, is that I'm just going to will myself past this belief barrier and then fail and think there's something wrong with me. And people live their entire lives like that, and they die thinking that they were just pieces of shit. And there's no reason for it because none of us are. We're all, I saw a thing today, we are all gods with amnesia. And that's what we are. We are all freaking God. We need to just start believing that way. That's it. So when I argue with you about the word suffering, I'm arguing semantics. Meaning we have a different definition of the word. Hang on, I need a sip of water for this one. Hang on. I have a perfect example of stepping out of my range with what I had to do last night, says Christina. I had to go to a school board meeting to speak up about them dissolving my son's special ed program. I never thought I had the capacity to do something like that, and while I was shaking while I was speaking, I felt very accomplished afterwards. Good for you. I felt like I had to say something. I used to believe my opinion didn't matter, and after last night, I feel it does now. So for me, stepping completely out of my comfort zone is my version of no pain, no gain. If I don't step out of my comfort zone, how will I be able to move forward and succeed in what I want to do and believe in? Okay, I'm going to reverse your sentences a little bit, okay? Here's what you said. You said, I used to believe my opinion didn't matter, but after last night, I feel it does now. So for me, stepping out, all right, that's the part I want to reverse. You believed that it mattered before last night, and here's why. I'm going to prove it to you. Because if you didn't believe your opinion mattered before last night, you would not have stepped up and said anything. What happened was you believed that your opinion mattered. You somehow amped yourself up enough and got your energy level up that your belief raised enough that you said, my opinion matters. I need to speak up at this thing. Then you stepped up and spoke at this thing, and that proved to you that you were right. Do you see the difference? But then what we do is we say, I hustled, and it worked. So clearly hustling works. I will always hustle every time, and I will always push through that barrier. You didn't push through your belief barrier. You worked it up higher, and then you stepped into that power, and you spoke up. And when you spoke up and you realized, I'm not dead. Nobody shot me. They didn't pick me up and throw me out of a 10-story window. I didn't get eaten by alligators or whatever other ridiculous thing our ego makes up about it. When you realized it worked and they listened, or, whether you got the program back on or not is irrelevant to this. I hope that you did, by the way, but not irrelevant to your life, but irrelevant to this scenario. You stood up for yourself and you spoke, and that was the physical manifestational proof that you raised your belief system. But you already believed it. You had to believe it to see it. You don't see it and then believe it. That doesn't work. It happens sometimes, and then we crash. Or it happens and you don't realize that you believed it first, so you think, well, I see it, so I must believe it now. And we just keep on going thinking voice number 2 is the way to go, and it's not. So, hey, but by the way, good for you. That's wonderful, Christina. Nathan says, I've noticed that when you are slowly exposed to the obstacle, you don't get less scared, you get more brave. When you're slowly exposed to the obstacle, you don't get less scared, you get more brave. I always say that bravery or courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And if you're slowly being exposed to this obstacle rather than slamming right into it, right? Is that what you mean? Then what happens is you can, maybe at first you feel like, oh my God, I could never handle this. But then after another day, it's still around. It's like, well, it hasn't killed me yet. And you're slowly raising your belief system a little bit. Maybe you've seen other people deal with it. Maybe now it's been around and you're realizing this isn't as horrible of an obstacle as I thought that it was. So your belief system is raising, and now you're getting the courage to take the step that you probably couldn't do on the first day, but maybe now on the 3rd day or the 15th day or the 100 millionth day. I don't, the range of time is irrelevant, but it's different for everything. Yeah, you've been exposed to it for a while, so your belief raised, and now you're able to do it. And then you do it, and you're like, look at this, I can do it. And now you think that now you believe it, but you already believed it. You just hadn't done it yet. I totally agree with that. Of course. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know what I said that you're agreeing with, but I'm just going to say that's a blanket agreement to everything. Here's a Facebook user. Who is this? This is Crimson. Crimson. Can you do me a favor? Can you click that link again? I don't know why you're not showing up, but if you get a chance to click that link, it's on this post. I know you've done it before. Hello, Bobby. Hello, everyone else. Just following welcome in rules. Thank you. Thank you. See how easy that is? You're wonderful. Oh, hey, morning, beautiful people, especially Bobby. See, I'll accept this as, oh, well, you can do like a sneaky one. I like this, Donna, right? You could be like, hey, everybody, especially Bobby. That's cool. I like that. I like it a lot. Well done. LOL, making mental bullet points. I'm horrible at taking notes. Is this also Crimson? See, now I don't know if it just is continually Crimson. I see a lot of Crimson in the few. Okay, so it is. Very good. Making mental bullet points. I'm horrible at taking notes. Well, there's replays. You can always watch the replay. I can't hustle. That word makes me cringe. I know you and I met each other in those entrepreneur groups, so I know that you know what I'm talking about when the hustle bros, right? And the Lamborghini guys. I cringe at that stuff. And yeah, I know. That makes me remember with life, it's up and down like a heartbeat. If it's a flat line, it means you're dead. Wow. It's up and down like a heartbeat. I really like that. I really like that a lot. Yeah, it is. And you know what? I think that's natural. I'm glad that you said that, because I hope that it was evident when I said, notice how I said your source doesn't push you through a belief. Right? Voice number 1 keeps you from going past your top barrier. Voice number 2 keeps you from going past your floor. But source doesn't move you past any either. Source just says, hey, let's take this range you got and just keep incrementally moving it up. That's great, because now but you still got your heartbeat. You still got your heartbeat. Why? Because we need contrast. We need contrast. We can't expand the universe. That's our job here if we don't have the contrast. We can't say, I like this better than that if everything is just fucking awesome. We can't do it, you know? So, and we can't overcome obstacles if there are none. Wow, this is such a hard obstacle course. It's just completely flat and all I have to do is walk slowly. No, you need the thing you got to climb over. You got to do the ropes and the monkey bars. And I hated them. I was never... Can you do monkey bars? I could never do monkey bars my entire life. Couldn't do them. I don't know why. Probably because I suck. No. I just could never do monkey bars. I wasn't good at them. I need to raise my belief bar. We all have the ability to raise. See, even that, I'm gonna. Oh man, and I'm sorry to pick on you, but I'm gonna nitpick a little bit. You don't need to raise your belief bar. You can just say, I would prefer to raise my belief bar. You're allowed. We are God with amnesia, and so are you, dude. Just meditate and be like, I would like to raise my belief bar now, please, and it'll raise. It'll show you the way, and you might not come out of your meditation with it completely raised, but what'll happen is you'll start attracting things that show you how to raise it. You'll talk to somebody, you'll read something, you'll see something on a TV show. It's amazing to me the things that I see when I open myself to them. So, but if you say, I need to raise my belief bar, then you're using that hustle voice, that voice, I gotta do this, I gotta raise it. You can't. You can't raise it. You can't will it to raise. It won't. And then when it doesn't raise, you'll think you suck. It's the same thing. Only you can raise your belief bar, but you can't do it. Can't do it. I also think we are all gods and goddesses. We are. I know that's not like news in this group. You know, I know I'm not like ruffling feathers with that. Perfect timing for all of this. Good. I'm very happy to hear that. And hello, by the way, Karina. Okay, yeah, thank you. Keep breathing. Raising the ceiling. Reaching through the cracks. There's always possibilities. Yes. The sky is the limit, by the way. The sky is the limit. Another for me, Christina says, is instead of looking at my autism as an obstacle, I look at it as a superpower. That's awesome. Or like my resilience to overcome all the things I have gone through despite me having my doubts. Yeah, you can look at it that way and be like, you know, I was able to get through that thing, and I was able to get through that thing, and I was able to get through that thing. And that can motivate you and inspire you to move forward on this thing that you want to do now. I think the mistake that people make is they see that in the past. By the way, sometimes the hustle voice works. You know, sometimes that hustle voice works. It's like, remember I said earlier in this live that sometimes your desires can overcome your belief system and you could push through, but you're not going to be able to stay up there unless you elevate your belief system to get there. But I can remember times in my life that my desire overcame my belief system, and I made the mistake of thinking that whatever I did worked. Holy shit, that worked great. I'm freaking awesome at this law of attraction stuff. I just went, and it was there. I was like, wow, I'll just do that again, you know? And the problem is that the next time I do it, it doesn't work. Or it works sporadically. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. And I didn't know why. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm doing the work. I'm meditating, and then when it's not happening fast enough, I have a fucking conniption, and then it happens, you know? And why, you know, because how come sometimes my desire overcomes my belief system? Well, it's because I wasn't saying it that way. I just thought that the tactic I used worked. And then the next time I try that tactic, it doesn't work, simply because my desire in that moment wasn't strong enough to overcome my belief barrier. That's it. Except I didn't know that back then. Now what I'm doing is I'm saying I don't have to go anymore. I can just relax and listen to David, my soul, and elevate my belief barrier. And now I just kind of go right on up there. sounds a lot easier. And for me, there's no suffering in that. There's still work. There's still work. I still got to wake up in the morning and do this stuff. I still, you saw, here's what happened. Here's a perfect example of this. You watched me do this. You watched me start this group, and then you watched me doing Daily Fuels for a while, and I was doing them 6 days a week, and I was on fire with it, and then all of a sudden, I reached my barrier. I reached that ceiling, and I was like, if I keep doing this, I'm going to become successful. No fucking way. And I was just like, I need to take a break from Daily Fuels for a little while. I need to stop doing this. And I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why I loved it and then I didn't love it. I didn't understand why sometimes I was pushing through and sometimes I wasn't. But we kept on going, and I kept on going, and I came to these conclusions. And now I'm realizing I just need to lift my belief barrier up higher because I love doing this. It's like not doing it wasn't helping me. It certainly wasn't giving me the outlet for all of this shit. And because I had no outlet, and the people in this house don't want to hear it. So, right? So, I don't sit them down and do Daily Fuel at the dinner table. So, I should do that. No, they wouldn't like that. So anyway, that's what happens, and then you feel, so for me, the suffering was hitting that barrier and coming back, or pushing through that barrier but not being able to maintain it. To me, that's what suffering is. Not the work, because now I love to do the work. It's not easy work. I have to do it, and and I'm coming up with new things to do, and it's like, to me, it's like a puzzle. And I wouldn't call that suffering. I would call that challenging. I like a challenge. I really do. I like a challenge. Otherwise, I'd be bored. I don't need David, my soul, to just hand me everything I want on a silver platter while feeding me grapes and fanning me with a big branch. I don't need that shit. I need the challenge. So maybe, Nathan, to you call that suffering. So I won't challenge your word. If that's the word that works for you, great. Say the word. I don't care. But that word doesn't work for me. So stop saying it. Where was I? I've gone through, right. I read that one from Christina. Here's another one from Christina. Our past is full of learning experiences instead of mistakes. While in the moment we may feel, oh, why did I do that? Thank you for the punctuation. And it feels like a mistake later on, it turns into a learning experience. Yeah, that's the bright side of this whole thing, Christina, is that even if you can go through this cycle over and over again, and I think kind of by default, you're going to elevate your range, because even in my life, I've noticed that without being conscious of some of the stuff that I'm talking about right now, I've noticed that my belief range just went upwards by default, because you just keep banging into that ceiling, and every time you do, you kind of push it a little bit and you learn something, and maybe in the beginning you're just learning, well, that tactic didn't work, so let me try this one. Well, running into the wall with my head didn't work, so let me put a helmet on and run into the wall with my head. And well, that didn't work, so let me get a better helmet. And eventually you just realize it's not the helmet, it's not the headgear, it's the tactic. Stop banging your head into anything. You don't have to do that. So yeah, there are definitely learning experiences. Is this Crimson still? I finally got to a point. Yeah. Crimson says, I finally got to a point where I just go for things that I'm afraid of or never tried before more and more. I realize things turn out just how they are supposed to. That's your belief system. That's your belief system telling you, you know what? I should just go for it. I should just go for it, because I realized, oh my God, I never went for that before because I thought it was going to kill me in some way, some horrible thing, right? And then I realized that I was missing opportunities, and then I was learning from that, and not learning. I was learning from that and realizing that, well, gee, I didn't need to miss all of those opportunities. I could have tried and failed. It wouldn't have been the end of the world, but I just failed by not even trying, So now I believe your belief system went up a little bit, and now you believe that it's okay to just try a new thing and see how it goes. just another example of this, but it always works in that sense. You cannot push past that belief system. You have to elevate your belief system, and then you're able to do something. And whether it works or not isn't even the point. The point is that you did it, and you feel good that you did it, because now you might realize, I did it, and it felt good that I did it, and I don't even want the thing that I thought I wanted to get out of it, but now I know how to do this, and I can do it again, and I can do it again, and I can do it on a bigger topic, and I can do it for a bigger thing. Like Christina, you spoke at the school board meeting. Well, before you know it, you might be speaking at bigger things, and you become a public speaker or something. That's just an example, but you broke through that. You didn't break through. You elevated your belief system. See, even I want to say it. It's like, it's what we say. It's like our vernacular. You broke through that terror barrier. You didn't. You elevated it and you stepped up to it. And then when you did it, you realized, I'm past where I used to be able to go past. It's so hard to change our minds. This is the language of our culture. Our culture relishes the hero that, against all odds, fixes the thing and saves the day, right? And we think we need to do that. We think we need to be this superhuman. We're all superhumans, but the superhuman thing, I'm doing quotes a lot today. The superhuman thing is being able to break past your terror barrier. And the only time we ever do that is when we first elevate it and then step up to it again. I think you got it. I think you got it. I'm assuming you got it. I can't see any of you, so I always end these things thinking, they all got that. That was great. I am very smart. And I don't know. For all I know, you're at home going like, what the can't stop laughing. Damn, I've missed your energy. Thank you. Nathan, I have a strong desire to quit drugs cold turkey, and I was shooting up meth and cocaine and morphine like there was no tomorrow. I OD'd 3 times in my life. Okay, you have or you had? Because I know you quit already, I think, right? So, here's what I think happened with you, buddy. I think that you were hitting your floor so many times that you see, I talk a lot about trying to elevate by pushing your ceiling up. I think what you did probably is you raised your floor. I think you may have raised your floor, because when you were ODing and you were on these drugs and you were feeling really shitty, from what I've gathered from your comments over the last few lives, it sounds to me like you realized, I'm going to die. This is going to kill me. If I don't raise this floor, if I keep coming this low, I will stop breathing. Like literally, this will be my death. And so you raised it. And when you do that, you probably raised your ceiling up a little bit, and that allowed you to move to quitting. Now, the cold turkey part, that sounds like the hustle thing. I'm just going to do it. But we all know, drug addiction is a really good example of this, because everybody that talks about trying to help an addict stop taking drugs will say they won't do it until they're ready to do it. And they can't just do it cold turkey until all of a sudden they're able to do it cold turkey. And how do you get able to do it cold turkey? You do what you did. And that's the superhuman part. It wasn't the cold turkey part. You raised your range up until cold turkey was in it. You might have been way down here and cold turkey quitting was up here. And this is your floor, and this is your ceiling, and you couldn't go that high. And you realized, if I hang out down here, if I keep going here, I'm going to be dead. And you raised it higher. You raised your belief higher until all of a sudden that cold turkey line was in the middle. Maybe it was right at the top. But it was in there, and you did it. Because you believed you could. You finally believed you could. If you didn't raise it, then you would have just been able to stop the first day. Does that make sense? Was it hard? Of course it was hard. I'm sure it was really hard. Would many people equate that to suffering? Yeah, I'm sure that they would. And if saying that word helps you to validate and justify and reconcile what you did and be proud of yourself, then by all means, use that word. I think the words that we use are our own definitions. You know, we all know what suffering means in general, but to you, suffering might mean a challenge, and to me, suffering means absolute and utter failure. You know, so to me, suffering would have meant that you didn't raise it and you succumbed to your ODing. That would have been the suffering in my definition of the word. I hope you're still here. Mikey says, sometimes I go through a whole spiel on somebody's comment, and then I'm wondering, like, I wonder if they're even still here. Because I have no idea. They could have been like, I got to go to work, you know, and they're gone. Anyway, Mikey says, your spiritual self and your human consciousness can be friends if you take your human consciousness at face value. It is to be of good use in practical matters and to achieve the goals of your spiritual self. Yeah, that's absolutely true. You know, your spiritual self, I think of it as your soul, your inner being, your whatever you like to call it, and your human consciousness, this part of you, the thing that's in this meat suit, right? I like to think of it that your soul is your navigator and you are the pilot. You get to pick what you're doing. You have free will to do whatever the heck you want to do. But your soul is always going to tell you, hey, the way that you want to go is that way, you know? And you're like, nah, I'm going to go this way today. And it's like, okay. And you go, you know? But no matter how far that way you go, your soul is constantly being like, oh, we're going this way? Okay, well, I know you want to get there. So I'm just going to keep plotting a point to there from wherever you are. You can work together or you can work against it. And the more you work against it, the more you're down on your floor. I really got to remember the definition of floor and ceiling. I've been mixing them up this whole time. That's why I do the hands, so you know which one I actually mean. Follow the hands, not the mouth. Fucking conniption. I've had a few of them. This fuel is so timely to my situation. The way our universe works is amazing. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I believe that. You know, I've done so many of these now, and I've seen so many times that people are like, this is what I needed to hear today. I think that these find the people that need to hear them at the right time, or I post it later or whatever, and you see it then. It's great. 5 years clean. Good for you, buddy. That's really awesome. I'm very happy for you. Hang on. Every daily fuel is very important. Thank you. I say it's a part of my self-care. It helps challenge my perspective and personal belief system. It helps me realize that I'm worth it. This one today hits the spot with realizing that I am capable of believing in more than I used to. Thank you. You're welcome, you know, and as much as I would like to take credit for that, I think what the reality of it is that you're raising your belief system and attracting hearing me say shit that validates you raising your belief system. You're like, I'm raising my belief system. And then you open your eyes and look around for some clues to see if you're right. And here's me going, hey, you raised your belief system. And you're like, wow, Bobby helped me raise my belief system. I didn't do shit. I just showed up and told you did. You did it, you know? Keep watching, please. Ray says, congratulations, Nathan. Yeah, buddy, congratulations. And he says, smiley face. All right, guys, that's it. Let's be done with this one. Tomorrow we'll do another one. That's how days work. And, nope, Crimson. Is that Crimson? It's Crimson. Bobby, I hope you realize you're a healer. Well, thank you. Thank you. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm belittling it, but really, I think I'm healing myself, and I'm using my talents to speak and to do this, and it's helping to create an energy that we're all latching onto, and I like that because I couldn't do this by myself. Boobs. Bravo, Nathan. Wow, where have you been, Robin? This was so many comments and like none from you. That's really funny. Big boobs. All right, Donna wants the booby prize today. Let's be done. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you very, very much. And have a wonderful night. And Crimson says LOL. Okay, so Crimson and Donna, you can have the booby prize. But Donna, you're definitely getting one, okay? Check your mail, and it's coming. Donna, a little longer for you because you're in Australia. That takes forever. Boobies. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.